Hello and welcome to Japan Lyric Room. In this show, we take our time to truly savor the lyrics of Japanese songs, gently breaking down the deep meanings behind the phrases and the unique cultural backgrounds of Japan in a way that's easy to understand.
It's so wonderful to be here with you all today.
Yeah, we are super excited. So for today's lyric explanation, I want you to just imagine standing in the neon glow of the Shibuya crossing. It's like back in 2006.
Oh, wow, right. That takes me back.
I know, right? And you feel this heavy bass vibrating through the pavement beneath your feet. But it isn't coming from, like, a nearby nightclub.
No, not at all.
Exactly. It's actually coming from the exhaust pipe of a custom drift car just, tearing through the midnight streets.
And today, we are focusing on a track that is, well, it's basically legendary. We're looking at Tokyo Drift by TERIYAKI BOYZ, which came out back in 2006.
Oh, right. The theme song for The Fast and the Furious. Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, that legendary lineup of Ilmari, Ryoji, Verbal, and Wise. I mean, if you were anywhere near a movie theater or a car meet, or even just listening to the radio back then, this track absolutely shook your world.
It really did.
And, well, to really appreciate the gravity of what we are delving into today, we have to look at the musical context, right? Because this wasn't just some local Tokyo hit.
Right, it was massive globally.
Exactly. It was produced by the Neptunes, led by the legendary Pharrell Williams. And what Pharrell did was engineer this incredible East meets West beat.
Oh yeah, those synths are unforgettable.
Yeah. You have these distinct traditional pentatonic scales played on oriental-sounding synths, and then they are layered directly over incredibly heavy American-style 808 bass drums. It's a sonic landscape that perfectly mirrors the neon-lit, chaotic street racing culture of midnight Tokyo.
Specifically around places like Shibuya, Roppongi.
Yes, exactly.
And what's really fascinating to me is that this track completely refused to just stay trapped in the 2000s. Like, fast forward to 2020 and beyond, and it suddenly sparked this massive global Tokyo drift freestyle movement.
Right, it just exploded all over again.
Yeah, you had it championed by 88 Rising's Rich Brian, and then within weeks you saw top Japanese artists like Awich and JP the Wavy jumping on the beat. They were dropping their own verses, which just, proved its status as an immortal Asian hip-hop anthem.
It truly bridges generations of music fans. It's amazing.
So we invite you to ride along with us as we race through 7 key phrases from the song. We're going to be savoring the lyrics in sequential order to uncover the hidden Tokyo DNA embedded right there in the track.
Let's do it.
We start right at the street level welcome with our first phrase. And for every phrase today, we want to share the exact cultural nuance so you can really feel what they meant. For this one, the cultural nuance is welcome. Sorry for the wait. Please enjoy the symphony of this city, covered in its chaotic noise.
Which is just such a brilliant opening, because what's beautiful about this is the Japanese hospitality it immediately offers you.
Yeah, it feels very welcoming, actually.
Right. When you hear Irasshai and Omatsudo-sama, you are hearing the spirited greetings you hear when walking into a Japanese sushi or ramen shop.
Oh, wow. So it's a highly visual framing device.
Exactly. The TERIYAKI BOYZ are acting as the hosts of Tokyo's streets, offering traditional Japanese hospitality to the world.
I love that. It's like hip-hop is just throwing open the doors to a bustling ramen stand. But I have to ask about the last part there. When they talk about the symphony, what exactly are they referring to? Because a ramen stand and a street race don't exactly sound like a classical orchestra.
No, they really don't. You're right. They aren't talking about violins or, a conductor with a baton. A symphony or a musical performance in this context means the exhaust notes and street noise blending into the very heartbeat of Tokyo.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so all of that chaotic noise that kenso becomes a deliberately composed musical performance.
That is so cool. It takes the grime of the street and just, elevates it to high art.
It really does.
So they've welcomed us at street level, but they don't plan on staying on the ground floor. Yeah. Let's look at how they flipped the symbols of success in phrase 2.
Right, the climb up.
Yeah, the lyric is,
and the precise cultural nuance here is an obsessive desire to dominate the high life of Roppongi Hills and the legendary nightlife Roppongi means Roppongi.
Okay, so looking at this from a language perspective, this line is kind of wild.
It is. It requires a bit of historical decoding, actually. They are using industry jargon, specifically a type of backward slang known as zujago.
Wait, I have to stop you there. Backward slang.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm looking at the word zuhiru, and my brain is drawing a complete blank. I mean, if they want to brag about dominating Roppongi Hills, which is this massive symbol of elite success in Tokyo, why not just say Roppongi Hills? Why scramble the words?
That is the perfect question. To understand why, you have to look at the origins of Zujago. It actually comes from post-war Japanese jazz musicians.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Back then, playing in the underground scene, musicians needed a way to speak to each other in secret, so they started flipping the syllables of words.
So Zuhiru is literally just the word hills scrambled around.
Exactly. And Giropon means Roppongi, just with the syllables flipped.
Oh, that makes so much sense now.
By taking the ultimate symbol of Tokyo's elite success and playfully dismantling it, it's a display of street dominance. They are showing they own the city's nightlife by dictating its vocabulary.
That is a massive flex. They're just casually rearranging the city's power structures.
Right. And speaking of asserting identity, that brings us right into phrase 3. This is where they claim some very specific cultural lineage.
Oh, yes.
And the exact cultural nuance we want you to savor here is, we have the speed of ninjas and the wisdom of sages, but at our core, we are performers. Geisha. We are messengers from BAPE, the brand that conquered the world from Harajuku.
I really love the rhyming of the traditional icons here. You know, ninja, sage, and geisha.
It flows so well.
But, wait a second. I get claiming the speed of a ninja or the wisdom of a sage. Those are classic warrior tropes. But a geisha, isn't that a really counterintuitive choice for a hip-hop group?
It seems that way at first, yeah. But you have to examine what a geisha actually represents. A geisha is not just an entertainer, she is the ultimate artisan.
Oh, I see.
It takes years of grueling dedication to master the traditional arts. By identifying as geishas, they are making a profound aesthetic choice. They identify not just as warriors, but as ultimate performers who have mastered their art.
Wow, so it's about that relentless work ethic.
Exactly.
But then they immediately pivot to a very modern reference, right? Like, they mentioned BAPE, which is a bathing ape. How does a Harajuku streetwear brand fit into all this?
Well, the connection is actually really deep. NIGO, who is the group's producer, founded the brand in Harajuku in 1993.
Right, the fashion legend.
Yeah, and he was deeply inspired by the movie Planet of the Apes. So this camo-heavy streetwear conquered the globe, and by calling themselves messengers from BAPE, they are blending their musical identity with Tokyo fashion history.
They're linking their modern streetwear empire directly to that ancient artisanal value. That is so cool.
It really is a brilliant connection.
Which brings us perfectly to phrase 4, where we get this cyberpunk analog spirit. The lyric and the cultural nuance for this line is, just like Tagusa from Section 9, I have that old-school artisan spirit and real-world skill. I'm the kind of prey who gets hired on the spot.
This line reveals a really deep respect for the legendary anime Ghost in the Shell.
Yes. For anyone who knows the show, they are referencing the character Togusa from Section 9. But, you know, in a world filled with highly advanced cyborgs, why identify with him?
Well, the paradox is the whole point. Verbal is making this incredibly intellectual metaphor here. You see, Togusa is a fully human cop using an analog Mateba revolver.
Wait, so he's bringing an old-school gun to a cyborg fight?
Exactly, and that isn't a weakness. It represents having artisan analog sensibilities while remaining incredibly competent on the front lines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that irreplaceable human instinct is exactly why Chief Aramaki hired him on the spot.
I love that so much. Having that raw human rawness in a synthesized world is your biggest advantage.
Right, it's a powerful metaphor for their music.
Okay, so they take that analog heat, and in phrase 5, we hit this massive global collision.
Oh, this is the peak energy moment.
Yeah, the lyric is...
And the cultural nuance we're looking at is, look, put your hands up. When Pharrell drops this firebomb beat, the whole night explodes.
So let's talk about the first word there.
Yeah, hora. It is a really natural attention grabber in Japanese. It basically means look or hey.
It's just this raw hype moment. And what I find so compelling is the cultural crossover happening right here.
Oh, definitely.
You have Pharrell dropping the bomb, the beat itself. It's blending Western superstar production with Japanese street energy, right?
Exactly. It's a sonic explosion that makes the whole world raise their hands.
It physically forces you to react. But then right after that explosion, the mood completely shifts in phrase 6.
It does. It pulls back into this concept of chic humility.
Right. The lyric goes, and the translation is, moving nimbly through the city's sweltering heat. Even with a look that makes the world swoon, I'll just coolly say, I'm doing okay.
And the exact cultural nuance here is moving nimbly through the city's sweltering heat, even with a look that makes the world swoon. I'll just coolly say, I'm doing okay.
There is so much going on in this one line.
There really is. It's deeply satisfying because of the Japanese onomatopoeia used here. Like, tobi implies jumping nimbly through the urban heat.
Yeah, you can almost feel the bouncing rhythm of it.
And then you have moiru, which means intensely attractive or swoon-worthy. And finally, bochi, which is a Kansai dialect phrase meaning so-so, doing okay, or little by little.
The contrast there is just amazing to me.
How so?
Well, they're on this massive global stage, right? And they're saying he looks amazing, completely moiru. But when asked how he is doing, he just responds with a humble, laid-back bochi, like, I'm doing okay.
Right. And that connects directly to the Japanese concept of iki.
Iki.
Yeah, it translates roughly to chicness. It's the quiet confidence of keeping your cool when the spotlight is blinding. You don't brag, you just effortlessly handle it.
That is the ultimate sophisticated swagger, just acting like it's no big deal. And that cool detachment provides the perfect setup for our final stop, phrase 7. This is where they plunge us right back into the city's actual reality. The lyric is,
and the cultural nuance for this final phrase is, even the total eccentrics are shuffled together in this city. This messy, chaotic state is exactly what a Fast and Furious's life is all about.
Let's unpack the vocabulary here because there are some fun words.
Definitely. First, you have mecha, which means super or very.
Yeah.
And then gocha means a messy, chaotic state.
So when I synthesize this, it sounds like they are saying Tokyo is this dense mixing pot, full of different races, values, and eccentrics.
Yes, exactly. And that gocha dynamism, where all these diverse elements get sucked into one massive high-speed vortex, is the true essence of Tokyo. It connects the movie's title perfectly to the reality of the city.
Wow. When you really step back and look at it, Tokyo Drift isn't just a movie soundtrack.
No, not at all.
It is a sonic passport, straight from mid-2000s Tokyo. I mean, by blending sushi greetings, cyberpunk anime, Harajuku streetwear, and Kansai humility over Pharrell's beat, it just captured Tokyo's beautiful, chaotic charm with total authenticity.
It really did. And, it leaves us with an interesting, provocative thought to ponder.
Oh, what is that?
Well, we often view noise and chaos, that gocha, as negatives in our daily lives. We want everything neat and tidy.
That's so true.
But what if we, like the Teriyaki Boys, chose to view the messy, chaotic parts of our own cities as a high-speed symphony? What if that friction is actually where the magic happens?
That is such a great way to look at it. The chaos is the music.
Thank you so much for listening again today.
It's been great.
We explore a variety of Japanese songs and update detailed lyric breakdowns on our website. If you want to savor the lyrics even more deeply, please check out our website using the link in the description.
Highly recommend it.
If you enjoyed this show, please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts on today's track or requests for songs you'd like us to cover next, please let us know in the comments. See you next time. This has been Japan Lyric Room.